Many people across the sports world, especially across the MLB world, are talking about Shohei Ohtani and the gambling scandal. Look, here's my thing. It almost seems like a part of me feels like he's the victim, and a part of me feels like he caused all this, or at least caused some of it, because the original story was, for those of you that don't know, the original story was that he had put out $4.5 million to his interpreter, as long as his interpreter would stop doing what he was doing, which was gambling on various sporting events, whether that be basketball, football, soccer. He didn't gamble on baseball, actually, but he gambled on NBA, NFL, college football, international soccer. So he asked Shohei to pay off his debt, which Ohtani did. And then a couple days later, it was changed to this was a theft, and the interpreter knew Shohei didn't have anything to do with it. It was all the interpreter's fault, and it was basically Ohtani got screwed over, basically. Well, I don't know what to believe. I really don't, because a part of me feels bad for Shohei. A lot of me feels bad for Shohei, because even if the first story is true, he did it out of the goodness of his heart. He didn't do it because he was he was trying to feed the gambling addict. The original story was he was trying to stop it from happening. So he wanted to pay off the debt with the promise that the interpreter wouldn't do it again. Now, judging from his reaction to when a meeting was called, he seemed completely surprised. He seemed like he didn't know anything about it. He seemed like he was caught completely unaware, and this was new news to him, and he was mortified by it. The Dodgers fired the employee and now have a new interpreter for Shohei. But this has sent shockwaves across the MLB. And here's my thing. If Shohei did know about it, he should have reported it. And it sounds easier said than done, because especially those guys were good friends. They had a camaraderie, being from Japan, and the man telling Shohei what the reporters were saying. But he should have reported it, and he should have gotten the guy some help, because there is rehab centers for gambling out there in the U.S. that I'm sure Ohtani and the interpreter could have paid for, at least Ohtani could have paid for, to get his interpreter the help that he needed. You know, we hear these stories all the time about somebody paying off somebody else's debt because the person said that they would promise to stop gambling. It's never that easy. It's an addiction. It's a disease. What they should have done was Shohei should have tried to get him some help. If he did know about it, that's my thing. If he did, Shohei should have tried to get him some help and told him he can pay for the debt, and that's fine. That's not what I have an issue with. But he should have asked or made the guy promise to enroll in one of those programs that specifically helps you. You see those numbers all the time with the gambling problem, call 1-800, whatever. That's what should have happened. It shouldn't have been just, oh, I promise not to do it again. It should be, you better prove it to me. You better go through a program if I'm supposed to pay off your debt. $4.5 million, even to somebody like Shohei, that's still $4.5 million, guys. That's a lot of money. So I think that Shohei should have done that instead. If he didn't know about it, though, he's the victim in all this. He is the one that's being screwed over. He's the one that, frankly, has to take, as if the MLB season isn't hard enough, and as if he's got to live up to his contract, and because it's $700 million by the Dodgers, and he's one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He's going to have to face all these distractions. And this is where I feel bad for the guy, is that baseball's hard enough, especially in a big market like LA, because you got the media, the fan scrutiny, World Series, the expectations, especially when you spend the money that they did this offseason. And coupled with, that's stressful enough. Coupled with that, he has to deal with this. And doing something that either he didn't know happened, or he did something out of the pure kindness of his heart. Shohei Ohtani is the victim over here. The interpreter, in my opinion, is really the guy to blame. Whether Shohei knew this or not, if Shohei didn't know about it, then it's entirely on the interpreter, because said interpreter, Shohei, trusted him with anything, trusted him with his bank account, trusted him with his finances, and you take that and you just basically stick the middle finger up at Ohtani and say, okay, screw you, I'm taking this money out. That's what the story is now. Shohei's lawyers accused him of theft, which this is a pretty big theft of $4.5 million. And really, it's an unfortunate thing to see. It really is. You're seeing a guy that, Ohtani, you're getting a guy that he seems like a nice guy. He seems like a really caring human being. But now he's being dragged into the middle of a scandal that, frankly, if he did pay off the debt, he's going to have to take some responsibility for. So I don't know. I think that there's going to be a statement later tonight. We'll know more after that. But as of now, it's a web of conspiracy theories. It's a web of he said, she said, and it doesn't lead us anywhere. So the MLB is investigating it. The Dodgers fired the guy, and I'm not even going to try to say his name because I know I'm going to butcher it. But it's a sad thing to happen for a guy that's really didn't mean any harm.
Cellular, 3 to 4 bars, signal strength, satisfy item. Mic's on, button, mic's off. Recording resumed. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know what to believe.
A lot of he said, she said type of thing, but that's my thoughts on the Shohei Ohtani scandal, if you want to call it. The gambling has been a big part of baseball since baseball really was popularized. The Black Sox scandal with the Chicago White Sox in the 1900s. Pete Rose doing what he did, banned from the MLB for life. So if once this all comes out, we're going to have a clearer picture, but it's a sad situation for a guy that really didn't mean any harm. Even if Shohei did pay off the debt, he did it in good nature. But I still think he should have made a better decision on enrolling the guy or making him enroll into a gambling rehab program. Those exist, especially I know they exist over here. Something that should have happened. Maybe Shohei wasn't thinking about it at the time. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to believe. In other news, the Cinderellas are basically done now for March Madness. Oakland lost, which in my opinion, once that overtime the game went into overtime for Oakland, that was it. They couldn't keep up with NC State, and that's my point, but that's a discussion for another day. This is a story that we're going to have more clarity on at about 5:45 tonight, which is when Shohei will do his press conference. He's not going to take any questions. He's just going to make a statement clearing up all the questions, and maybe we'll figure something out. I don't know. This is just something that really couldn't have come at a worse time for this poor guy. So that's going to wrap it up here. I am Allan Wylie for Newhd Sports. Make sure to follow us on X, Instagram, social medias, and Snapchat. Or I don't think we have a Snapchat, but Facebook. That's what I meant. And I will see you all next time.